God, what vivid memories. So what I picked up on there was that you boiled old potatoes for pigs to eat.
Yeah, all the old
escaped.
sort of wrinkled up ones used to go in this boiler in the boiler house off the yard, and we'd just go and peel them. We even had a salt cellar in there.
Wow, to give them a bit of flavour on
They were so good tasting. It was all like scum and froth on top. We'd get one out and feel.
Can I ask you, you talk about it went in the boiler house. What other things were done in the boiler house? Was it washing there, or was it just like...
No, it was a boiler house with the pigs. There was things stored in there, but farm things. It was, yeah. Mm. So, but, I mean, I adored the animals and that. I couldn't bear anything going. And I think it's why I'm vegetarian now. That's the one thing. I mean, it was an idyllic childhood, absolutely. But I think in the end, that's why I yearned to be, when I grew up, to be a vegetarian, which I am. Yeah. I couldn't bear them going. I mean, if a pig was killed, it was in the yard, but we knew. And I used to go, if I wasn't at school, I used to go up in my bedroom and that sort of thing. I couldn't, take it. No. And when the poultry was killed at Christmas, of course, they were strangled. And my mum used to joke and say she wasn't sleeping with my dad that night in case he strangled her.
Sounds like there was a lot of humour in your family.
Oh, there was. It was a wonderful, wonderful childhood. Yeah.
And I also picked up that you had a duck that escaped, a cheeky duck called Beauty.
Beauty, she was lovely. He was lovely.
Oh,
it was a drake. It was a drake. And it just went AWOL. Came back after all the others were gone.
Oh, good for Beauty.
And my dad hadn't got the heart to kill it. It had lovely blue and green feathers and it just became a pet. You just sit, if I sat in the yard, it'd come and sit by me and things like that. It's lovely.
A picture is a baby and a woman.
That's my mum and me. I am 2 months old, and that's in the near pasture. There were 3 pastures. This was this one, then you went over a railway bridge to the next one, and then you went over a little wooden bridge, just a crossing, where the stream was in the 3rd one, and that was the 3rd one. But the arable fields, they were away from the farm. Mm-hmm. They were in different roads up in the area. We had Boggart Lane Field, which is now Vining Road. Mm-hmm. We had Scotch Barn Lane, which eventually became a school and is now a housing estate. Mm-hmm. And there was the quarry field. There was a quarry in Delph Lane, and behind there, they were the arable fields. Mm-hmm. And as I say, next, beyond the quarry, was the isolation hospital. And they had this field, which they just had a gardener who kept it, but he had to go in the war because it wasn't farming as such. So my dad had to do that. Yeah. And then at the bottom of Delph Lane, there was another field which is now called Henley Park, and that was, Dad had to do that as well.
Fantastic. So the second picture I can see here is of a horse.
That's me. I'm 2 there.
So you're on the horse.
On one of the horses. I think it was Kitty, but I can't remember. I did ask my dad years ago, and he thought it was Kitty.
So these look like big Bailey horses.
Yeah, big cart horses, big Shire horses.
And that the man in that picture is your dad, is it?
That's my dad.
He does look happy. Looks like he's got lots of fun in his bones.
Yeah, he's lovely.
And then the next picture, it looks like haymaking.
It is haymaking.
Yeah.
Now that was the Boggart Lane field.
Yeah.
That's now Vining Road. And that was Timmy, our dog, who was as thin could be, because he followed my dad everywhere. And if he was ploughing, he went up and down, up and down. He wouldn't stay. He had to be with my dad. And he never put on any weight because he just ran up and down. And when we had the tractors, it was faster still, you know.
Yeah.
So
And the two men, that's your dad.
that's my father.
And that's your brother.
He's my late brother, and he died just before COVID. Tony, he was at the time at Birmingham University doing mining engineering. And my sister was at Teachers Training College in Wentworth, near Barnsley in Yorkshire. And she roomed with his sister. And of course there were no motorways then, so Joyce couldn't come home all the time like you could come now in a couple of hours. So she used to go to Doncaster with Merrill, his sister. And but in the holidays or a long weekend or anything, they would come. It took a day then to get from Doncaster to here, well, about 6 hours or so. You couldn't do it in a day.
No.
So that was obviously, you know, in the holidays, and he was helping Dad.
And is that your dad on a bicycle?
No, that's my twin brothers.
Oh.
That's my twin brothers. That by the pond.
Yes.
And this brother, Geoffrey, I think everything he had is in that pond. He had this, when he was smaller than this, when he was little, he threw his teddy in, he threw his dinkies in, he threw his little stool in, he threw everything in the pond.
And what are they called, you twin brothers?
Geoffrey and Leslie.
Oh.
And they're 82 now.
Wow.
Yeah. And this is my sister.
Yeah.
That was eventually married to Tony.
Yeah.
That's Joyce, with my father. That's the barn where you can see a tractor. That's the stack yard up there. This building here is where, if a pig was, there were pigsties were down the other side, but if a pig was farrowing, having babies, it went in there with the babies till they were older. And that's an implement shed, and that's the barn. And then here was the...
Are they still there, the barns?
No, it's called Plumtree Estate. The reason it went was because it wasn't in the green belt. And if the council wanted to build houses on it, they could build houses on it.
Right.
And when my daughter, third child, was the last to go down there when she was 2. So she's 62, about 63 years ago, this happened. And the only thing you could do was sell it to a private housing. It had to be houses, but you could sell it. So it was sold to Greenhouse for more money, and it became private housing, and it's called Plumtree Estate.
Was it called that because there's lots of plums?
Well, there were plenty of plums, not that the birds didn't usually eat them first, but they were all apples and pears. I mean, it was just Plumtree Farm.
It was a fruit, lots of fruit trees.
That's the side garden, and that's the front garden, and it's across here. And I'm in this part, the front part, by the gate, and the orchards behind me, and all there's the greenhouse, and up the side, it's a bigger house than it looks. If you can see there, and all behind there was all the fruit trees and bushes and things there and there.
Is the house still there?
No, it's all gone. It's all gone. Yeah.
So that was the farmhouse. We're looking at a picture of the farmhouse with a very manicured garden.
Oh, Dad
Who did
kept,
that?
oh, Dad, he kept everything beautiful.
Oh yeah, he looks like he's really paid attention to those box hedges to
Yeah,
me.
yeah, he just did everything.
And
to
this looks like an old building.
that's the shipping, the cowshed shipping, it was called.
Yeah.
There. That's a bit of the stables where Jimmy would back himself out. It's very difficult because this is the end of the house and there's a door there. And that's, it's on the front. That's the front door and that's the back door. And so there's a yard here and that's where he would cross. And then he would come round here. And if Mum knew Jimmy was going out, she opened the door, back door, because if she didn't, he kicked on it till he opened it. So it would be open, so he'd get his head in, but that's all he could get in. And he'd have his crust, and then he'd back himself out and go round and back himself into the cart or the plough or the whatever he was doing, you know, the arrows or whatever he was doing. And then he did it all in reverse, going back, put himself back in the stable.
He sounds like he had a very strong will.
He did. He was wonderful.
So this picture looks like it's down the side
That's
of
the
the
back.
barn.
That's the back of this
Of
barn.
the barn, yeah.
The barn. And
And there's
then
chickens.
there's
are
some
they?
chickens in a run there, but the main hen sheds were in the stackyard, the other side of the barn. But this side was all the orchard, but you can't see
Can't
it.
really see
Pity
it.
I've lost that one. And then this is a bit later. That's the barn, all along there. There is another shipping, another cow shipping there. And then that's the pond beyond there. And no, I can't really see. But on this pasture, but over this side, were three stables. And when I was a bit older, when I was about 8, we had 3 ponies. One belonged to my cousin. He was older than me. And we had Pieball, Patsy and Mainstay. And we used to ride out. And we had no lessons, no hard hats or anything. Wore trousers, but nothing else. Just used to ride out and along the roads and everywhere. Just so.
My goodness. I mean, what an amazing story and what a gift for this project, Marjorie, because, you know, this is what the project's about. It's about kind of not just remembering, it's about the present day as well and what the future holds in terms of growing food in these communities, you know. But
Yeah.
what a gift to have your experience of growing up on a farm
Thank you.
in this neighbourhood, you know, well, in this borough.
It's actually, I think it is. It's still in
Knowsley.
I don't know. It could be St Helens. I don't know what it
Yeah,
is.
it's sort of probably on the borders.
Yeah, it could be.
I might go and have a little walk around and see if I can find any.
But if you go to, the easiest way to tell you is to go to Wiston Hospital, go up Delph Lane, and then you come to Lights, and you've got Tubert Lane that way, the Scotch Barn Lane that way, but go straight on, and that's Portico Lane. But that's still Wiston.
Yeah.
And in our side garden here, there was like a little well, and the other side of that well was Ettleston Park, which meant our house was in Ettleston Park, so we were at Ettleston Park. But Eric's shop at the top was Wiston, because their garden but sort of backed onto there. So we would. That was the actual boundary of the. So if you come down Portico Lane, and where it divides, it goes round like that, but that way is Old Lane. So there's a little roundabout. An Aries shop is still there, but it's been extended now. It doesn't belong to Aries, obviously. And it's different now. And where they've built onto it, which you can see, was the entrance to our farm.
Yeah.
And the other side was all the orchard
Right.
side, on that side of it. So that was the entrance. So there were some houses round there when you went round the corner in Portico Lane. And when you come to Eccleston Park Station, then you see Central Avenue, and that was the border of our third pasture. So that's how far it extended up there.
So it was big, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't very big. It was about 150 acres, I think, something like that.
That's quite big, isn't it? No. They're quite small for a farm.
Marjorie, can I ask a question?
Please ask questions.
I find it really fascinating what you're talking about, because I went to Darragh Smith and Scotch Barn Lane, and we used to hear a lot of stories about, the lands that was there and the farms and all the fields, and also, you described where the school was built in Scotch Barn,
Edmund
and there was a hut, wasn't it, at the bottom of the field was a hut, and the outline was still there, but we used to walk down Portico, and there was still farmlands then in the early 70s, and it's just fascinating to find out who lived there, and these stories of your childhood. It was wonderful in the way that your dad looked after the gardens. Can I ask, how did the family feel when it was decided by the council that this land was going to be, this wonderful place was going to be now used to build houses?
I don't think Dad was very happy, but he couldn't do anything about it. So did you say you went to Edmund Harrismith?
Yes.
Well, you know the houses on Delph Lane at the top?
Yeah.
They bought a house there.
Oh, okay.
Which backed up their garden bought.
Yeah.
And he had some land up in Rainhill, up St James's Road in Rainhill. Yeah. And he did market gardening from there until he retired.
Yeah.
So that's what happened to it. Yeah. But you say you walked down Portico.
Yeah.
The schools, had they gone then? Yes. The Whiston Secondary Modern and
no, they were all there when I was there. Whiston Central and you know,
there was the infant school, and then there was the girls' school, then there was the boys' school. You had to go away for junior school. And when I talk about going to school on the horse, I just mean into the infants. I used to go just from the farm up to the infant school on one of them.
And what a lovely walk to school.
Sorry?
I could imagine that walk to school, because Portico Lane, even now, is a lovely lane. But the way you describe it, I remember some of the fields that were left.
Yeah.
And what a lovely walk to school you had. From the farm.
But we had to come to Prescott to the junior school.
Yeah. Because I feel, I was born in 1963, and during my time as a child, I saw all the fields and the farms all being taken, motorways going there or housing estates going, and I felt as if my childhood was just seeing everything getting destroyed, and there seemed, it was very unsettling, because we loved the landscape and we loved nature, but it was just all being tarmacked over. And I remember going to school and seeing all the pig farms and, all these different things, and our milk got delivered by horse and cart. And all that sort of, it was like the end of that lovely era that you're talking about, that I saw just being obliterated, really, or in Knowsley. So it's lovely, it's really lovely to hear first your experiences of that.
That's where I lived till
beautiful.
I went nursing.
Yeah.
So I lived my first 18 years
Yeah.
on that farm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, still went home for
Yeah.
days off and that. But even though I trained at Wiston, my general, I trained at Wiston, I had to live in.
Oh, right.
We had no choice. Even though I only lived down the lane, I
Yeah.
had to live in the nurse's home.
Because one of my memories is when we used to walk up Delph Lane was all the nurses would have their cloaks on because
Yes.
the nurses
We used to
all the
walk
flats
across.
and they were all in twos and they go up the side and we just used to have these lovely cloaks
Yeah.
and we all just used to look and go, oh, wouldn't it be lovely to be a nurse? And I'd say out of my class in Emma Smith, 80% of the girls went to be nurses. And I often wonder if that was that inspiration of seeing all the student nurses walking up Delph Lane in their uniforms and their cloaks, you know. And an awful lot of girls wanted to be nurses from that.
Well, I trained there. I went as a cadet nurse when I was 16 and a half.
Yeah.
You could go as soon as you... I stayed at school, but we were allowed to leave on the day we were allowed to start.
Oh,
so I left on November the 5th, 1951,
all the
to
fireworks
go
going on.
and train as a cadet nurse.
Yeah.
And we went to New Willows Technical College 2 days a week.
Yeah.
2.5 days, 2 days on the ward and a couple of days off. I can't quite remember. But then at 18, you had to live in. And I trained 53, 56.
Yeah.
But then I went to London to do my first part midwifery and Cheshire to do my second part. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
So you brought lots of babies into this world too.
I have, because I stayed in midwifery.
Yeah.
Well, I did. But I lost my husband early. So, and I had 5 children. So I went on the district and I trained as a health visitor.
Yeah.
Because there's no way I could, if in the holidays when the older ones were looking after the younger ones, if one of them rang me and said such things happen, I couldn't, in the middle of delivering a child, do anything about it. On the district, I could.
So there's more flexibility.
I never had to, but I could have done it.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Wonderful.
Wow, I was just looking up the meaning of the word Delph, listening to you talking about Delph.
Yeah.
Is it Delph, D-E-L-P-H?
Yes.
Yeah, apparently it's kind of a Greek word. It says that it was a quarry, as you said.
Yes. My grandfather...
Slate and stone.
Yeah. My grandfather, he was a master quarryman, and a person called, Sid Reeks was the son. I can't remember, Reeks anyway, I've forgotten.
Yeah.
He had the money, and my granddad had the expertise, and they opened that quarry in Delph Lane.
Oh, really?
And my grandfather, some parts of Liverpool Cathedral are from that quarry. A lot's from Woolton, but there was an extremely good seam in Delph Lane quarry. And my grandfather actually went down the quarry and cut this stone to do the foundation stone. And if you look in the cathedral, there's all like saints and things along the top, all along the nave, and all those were made out of the stone that my granddad had specially cut.
That's amazing.
Do you mean the ones in the Anglican?
Pardon?
The Anglican?
Yes.
Wow. So I met, this is weird, I met a mason, the family of one of the masons about a month ago who did the carving.
Yeah,
So
well,
I've met the masons who did the carving family and the family of the people who...
well, another of
that's given me the creeps.
another of the masons was my best friend's granddad. And so we never know whether he worked on my granddad's stone, you know, but yeah.
Because
Yeah.
of course a lot of the apprentice masons in the Downton Cathedral retired there too.
They did, and it was generations of them actually.
Yeah.
Because I also work in the Blue Coat in town,
Yeah.
the old building, and that was the young men who went there. Quite a lot of them ended up as masons on that cathedral because it took a long time to build.
Oh, it did. It did. It was still building when I was a child.
It was, I think
Yeah.
it was something like 100 years, was it? Took them a long time to build it.
Yeah.
Isn't that lovely? So Delph means quarry. I've just looked it up.
Delph Lane.
It means quarry or pit.
Yep.
So it must be there as a result of that quarry.
Yeah. Mm.
And your family?
And what was I going to say?
There is a sinister bit of history about that quarry, though. Do you know the dead body that was found in there in in the 70s? But that's when it had flooded. It was no longer a quarry by then.
So yes, it was.
I won't
You
put that
did
in
know
our
when
lovely
you were at
story.
school
Yeah.
in Scotchbourne Lane, two of the roads. Well, the first road was Sundale Avenue.
Yeah.
The second road was Ford Road,
Yes.
and that is my maiden name, and it was named after my granddad because Sidrick's father, I can't think of his name now, the old man, he had those houses, Sundale, Macvinney, which is named after his mother-in-law,
Yes.
and Ford Road. He had those built in that time. And so Ford Road is named after my grandfather.
I've been in some of those houses. I used to have friends lived in those houses.
I lived in Macfinney Road.
Wow.
And my husband, who I met
Lovely
years
house.
later, lived next door. And we ended up getting married.
Yeah.
So much.
Well,
Oh my
my-
goodness, it's a
this
hot spot
brother-
of connection.
That brother lives
Yeah.
in Ford Road, so he is Mr. Leslie Ford of 32 Ford Road.
Wow.
Yes.
So your roots go deep, deep, deep with this place, don't they? Right back. Have you done any
Yeah, well, my
ancestry?
father, it just goes from. I was born 2 years after they got married and we went to the farm, and what was I going to say? So it goes from there, but my father was from Cronton originally, and my mother was from Huff Green, old Huff Green, not Huff Green as it is now. Yeah, so they only came there when they got the farm.
Yeah, so they came to Plumtree Farm in the 1940s.
In 1933.
1933.
Yeah, I was born in 35.
It says that the quarry opened up in the 1920s. So
Oh
that,
yeah, but my grandfather was
Yeah.
my grandfather, not my father.
Yeah,
He
so
was
but that shows that family, your granddad lived there.
yeah, he
Did
lived in
his dad
Cronton,
live there?
but he worked
Wow.
at that quarry. They had a quarry in Bluebell Wood in Cronton. There was a quarry there then, behind, and they had that one. But then they bought the one in Delph Lane, and which was a bigger one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, what a story, Marjorie.
So
Thank you so much for sharing it with me.
My
I'm so
pleasure.
pleased that I've managed to meet you.